Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the Road to 100, where today we'll do a little bit of the boss analysis here since we got Mr. Argent Wolf Berserker himself here in front of us, and we have a fine specimen stalking me here in the background. So we'll just let her look around a little bit and be confused. And so if we go ahead and talk about the Berserker here, he has a flat 25% resistance, to all damage types / crush and pierce. In the first phase, flat 25%, so anything that's on your card listed, he has 25% resistance to those. And then his element resistances are 0% to blood, so he's not weak to blood, but he's definitely not resistant to blood, which is very, very nice for us. And then he has a 20% resist fire, he has a 20% ice resist, and he has a 40% lightning resist. So you've been using lightning all the way through the cathedral here because it's been good versus all the other enemies, and then they switch it on you here at the Wolf Berserker, and he resists lightning very heavily. And also you haven't been using blood up to this point in time because all the golden warriors, they resist blood at 70%, so they kind of switch everything on you here at the Wolf Berserker, and it's really, really bad. And then in phase 2, if you get so lucky to cancel him out of his phase 2 transition, then you stay at the 25% resist on weapon damage types. But if you are not so fortunate to get that transition ignore, then all his physical resistances go up to 50%. Damage reduction / crush and pierce all go up, and his element resistances stay the same at 0 for blood, 20% for fire, 20% for ice, and 40% for lightning. Now he, for his status effects, he is weakest to Inhibit, followed by slow, followed by stun, in that order for the debuff buildup, and then he's completely immune to poison. So don't try and poison him to death, which is why I can't get an exact, perfect, accurate count on his HP, because there's nothing so consistent as poison to tell you exactly what their health is. However, I do have a couple of guesses at his HP, but I don't want to put any guesses out there. So that's what we know. And what did this cost me? Well, it cost me 12 million haze. Many Bothans died to bring this information, right? So many Revenants were slaughtered at his feet in order to bring this information. So yeah, if you're wondering why our haze is down to 32,000, well, that's because we died to him. So we are going to, I can't call a Revenant. I wonder why not. Maybe I have to kill her first, or maybe I'm in the, yeah, there we go. I'm in the boss zone where the signal is cancelled. And so what we will be going for is Queen's Claw with the Sharur, because this has a 100 block. So if you were going to run a hammer against him, I would suggest a blocking hammer, or something like the huge hammer fortification, because it does have the blood damage infused, or the lost heavy axe, because this thing has the blood infusion as well. Those two are the two hammers that have blood infused damage, and then I would go for a blood weapon. However, since we're going to be going for blood gifts, we'll be using the hammer to kind of regenerate our ichor as we use it. So you can use hammers as well to be defensive, to provide defense for your dark gifts or your light gifts. Excuse me. And the reason this is intriguing is because the Sharur has the same block potential here of the Argent Wolf Hammer. It's just at almost 1/3 of the weight sorry, 1/3 of the weight reduction of the Argent Wolf Hammer, but it has the same defenses and everything. And with guard drain rating up, remember this is a plus 0.4 to your it's a plus 0.4 to the drain rating here. It doesn't show up on the card here, but it is a plus 0.4, and it's not multiplicative or anything. And what you see on the card here is a 1-to-1 ratio. There's no multiplier for defensive drain rating, which is why we want to get that as high as we can on defenses here. But then we go for a couple of different things here. That on focus we get 10 iCore back, which is good because we have some gifts here that require a bunch of iCore, but since we'll be blocking most of the time anyways, we should be okay. Now it doesn't look like anybody's going to be joining us here, so I guess we'll just go ahead and hop in before anything else goes awry. Now if you use a drain activator, it doesn't show up on the card here either, but that's okay. Alright, and if we go in, and we'll go for a backstab first because it's free. Typically, it's free. And then we can go for some blood damage here. So that was a pretty good set there. And we'll go ahead and block here. We'll go for an attack just to get some iCore back. And we'll go ahead and block. Oh, okay. And if I can get a backstab here, I'll definitely take it. Nope. And the nice thing about the Sharur is that the light attack paired with the run button, you can knock this guy down. Apparently he was too close to focus though. Okay. There we go. Oh, didn't get the transition, but we'll definitely take the iCore here. So you can see that our gifts are now doing half damage because the damage typing, not because of blood damage, but because they're doing slash and crush and so on and so forth. It's definitely a problem, but nothing we can't overcome because we do have a bunch of slash damage here, or a bunch of blood damage. Sorry. There we go. We'll let our stamina recover there a little bit. Go for another backstab since gift prowess is over, gift extension is ending. We'll go for a gift extension for now. Oh, didn't get the backstab there, but we got that one. Now if we went for the drain version, we could definitely get a bunch more iCore back, which would be helpful. Okay. And if you're looking to use, hammers, this is a good way to use hammers, because as you see there, we can be ended in one hit pretty much. And even though we did really well all the way up to this point, it doesn't matter because he can end you. Okay, good. We got the block off there just in time. We'll block for some iCore here. Good. And we'll kill him. Okay, so so blood damage all the way, as much blood as you can possibly run. We're not going to do another set here because we got to get prepped and ready for the next area because again we're going back into another invasion and such, and we're not going to be needing any blood damage, but Queen's Claw is uniquely paired to have strength and willpower, so that way we can have a strength to wield the Sharur in the event that you don't have the Argent Wolf Hammer. The Wolf Hammer is pretty common, but if you don't have it, another good one is the Sharur, and if you are going for some other weapon, then with Queen's Claw you can go for Steady Bulwark, and you'll be able to have Hunter block on. You could even use the Hammer of Thraldom. You could use the Juggernaut Sledgehammer, as this has really good defenses here, and about the same stats here as the Sharur. And the nice thing about that would be that instead of going for these, you could go for a guard booster, and that gives you 100 block across the board. So you could go for steady bulwark instead of these, whatever you want there, and you could have the guard boosters on as well. So that way you get the 100 block across the board. Now you can't really get 100 block across the board with too many other things, um, but you can get really close on a lot of these, and they do pretty well. But you might have to pair steady bulwark with a guard booster. So if you go for something like this, you could have the Hammer of Thraldom up, but you wouldn't have the Ichor recovery that you would normally. You could go for the Queenslayer Hammer. You could go for the Lost Heavy Axe. You could go for almost anything at this point to have 100 block across the board, just because of, well, obviously not the Sunset Hammer, the Burned Warhammer, the Hellfire Hammer, almost the Lost Heavy Axe. So you could go for like Huge Hammer, because that has blood damage also built into it, so you would get some of that extra 10% damage there, and it wouldn't be so bad. It would offset some of your abilities there. So yeah, there's ways to use hammers very well and very effective versus the the Argent Wolf Berserker. But the problem is that if you actually have to do the hammer hits, it takes a very long time because of his huge reduction in damage to slash, crush, and pierce. So anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed that, and for the Wolf Berserker, blood, and you could go for Inhibit if you wanted, or slow, and that would also do you well, but you'd have to hit him for that, so pick your poison. Now for one-handed weapons, it's a completely different story, because you could go for the Fulmin Blade and have 100 block across the board, or some kind of slow version or stun version paired up with blood, and you could slow him down and get 100 block and have a one-handed weapon, so blah blah blah. There's all kinds of other things, but for him personally, this is a great way to utilize hammers, is by their defensive capabilities and their pairings, to make sure that you're getting that drain rating pretty high, and as well as having good stamina reduction, and having obviously really good defenses in the Sub-Zero Shroud here. Now if you want another Blood Veil, you can go for the Midnight Sun, or the Night Fang, and have really good slash resistance against his attacks. Now you don't have quite the dark value for the mage kind of set here, but that's okay. I guess you could go for something like the Hedgehog Fort, as it has a pretty high dark value with a fairly decent slash resistance. But yeah, there's not a whole lot there that you would go for. But yeah, I mean, there's other options, but nothing quite as good as those. And you could go for the fortified Suicide Spur, as this has really good dark value, really good slash damage reduction. You could probably go for the fortified and have and still be a-okay. If you go for the alleviated, you're almost below the threshold here of 80 pounds. Now if you would, instead of Ichor Focus, go for Revenant's Ambition, you could actually go for like a Drain version or an intensified version at 1425, and you could actually run this and have higher slash resistance. You have no crush, but since the Obliterator Axe, if we look at that, the Obliterator Axe is all slash damage, and we could go for this and have really good slash resistance, as compared to the fortified Sub-Zero Shroud, and it's even considerably higher. So you could go for something like this, have really good dark, really good slash resistance on the Suicide Spur, and you could do well having 100 block while at the same time having normal mobility now instead of slow mobility. But it's kind of one half dozen or another of how you want to go about going for him. But yeah, blood damage is the absolute best way to go, which is why the gift Radiant Barrel is so effective versus him, because it does blood damage, and so it's able to get basically the full amount of damage almost, except for the 25% pierce damage reduction, but it's able to get a massive amount of damage because it has blood damage. So again, it's kind of up to you how you want to go about it, but I chose the blood gifts paired with the defensive capabilities here of the hammer of the Sharur, and since we've seen it in the past, we haven't seen its defensive capabilities, and this is a perfect place to go ahead and see that. So kind of a boss analysis, kind of just a demonstration, and kind of our one chance to kind of get through him here in this run, so I thought I'd kind of make it special. So anyways, we'll be on the regular road in the next invasion tomorrow, so we'll see you all then.